Good morning, everyone. My name is Helena Natt. I'm the Executive Director with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. And you know what, this webinar is so important. And the goal of the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce, representing 30,000 different business and civic leaders, is to tune in and listen to the concerns of entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium-sized companies, major corporations. And that's it. The listening to the concerns is what it is, how we can help implement and how to grow your business. And one of the concerns that we have been hearing for, especially when the economy kind of turns, we pivoted from COVID into this economy, is access to capital for small businesses. And you know what? I am really excited to put this panel on, especially with Manly Lynn. I have to, I always applaud her. She is always listening, coming onto the online networking events to hear the concerns of businesses. And when she hears this, she will sit there and say, Helena, let's do a panel of access to capital, meet the lenders. And this is how it comes about. So, you know what, I just wanted to say, from all the lenders that are on here, from Pursuit and Chase and TD Bank and Renaissance and Webster BOC Capital and Accompany Capital, thank you so much for doing this, because the small businesses really, really appreciate it. You might not hear it, but I do hear it. And I just want to convey that. So for everyone that is on, listening, there is a chat going. Put your questions in the chat. I will be monitoring the chat. And I'm going to let them do the presentation, because some of the questions will be answered during the presentation. We'll have about five minutes for a Q&A afterwards. So just, be respectful of the chat so we have enough time. As well as, it is being recorded. It will be on Chamber TV, so you can go back to this presentation, and the PowerPoint presentation will be sent to me. As long as you RSVP'd online, you will get a copy of it. So right now I am going to turn it over to Manly Lynn, SBA. We're so appreciative. We have a great partnership with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce and the SBA, and hats off to the SBA for what you have done for the last 2 years, and especially, all these years, but especially your concern of growing the economy. Take it away, Manly.
Thank you, Helena. Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. Let me share my PowerPoint. First, I would like to introduce SBA's financing program. So when the panelists, they talk about 78504, you know what they are talking about. So the first good news is SBA now have more than 30 different kind of languages. So you can read all the information with the language you feel comfortable with. So SBA provide financing program, no matter what stage of your business, we have something for you. We have one-on-one counseling that's very critical for you to get a loan, because our one-on-one counseling through our resource partner, they can help you to prepare your package, your loan package, and maybe guide you which lenders will be best for you. We help business with government contracting. I hope 2023 will be a good year for everybody get that contract. And disaster assistance, just want to remind, if you get PPP, if you haven't applied for the forgiveness, you still have time before the maturity time. And also for the EIDL, starting repayment from October. So you should go to check your information. If you have questions, please contact me. You can see my email address on the screen. So just find a resource partner that near you. So you go to this website and enter your zip code. You can find the organization can help you. I go to the disaster assistance, just remind you, for New York area, you should contact Birmingham Service Center regarding your EIDL repayment. So financing program, SBA, I will skip this because you will listen to the lenders, how to prepare for your loan. So if you go to sba.gov on the landing page, you will see the lender match. So you answer questions, how much money you want to borrow, and your business information. Then you will get matched in 2 days. You talk to those lenders, they think you're lendable, and you can apply for a loan. So SBA, I already mentioned, we have different kind of programs. So you can borrow from $500 to $5.5 million. Depends on your need. Not everybody need SBA's guarantee loan. If you go to your bank, you go to your lender, you meet their requirement for their own products. Most of the lenders, they have their own program products. So if you can get from them, you don't need SBA's guarantee loan. But if the lenders think a little bit risky, unless SBA guarantee to them, they cannot make loan to you, then they will submit your loan package to SBA to get approval. So you don't need to contact SBA. You have to work closely with your lender. So I already mentioned this is very critical for you to get loan. Prepare it. For lenders, actually, that's not their job to prepare those paperwork for you. It's our responsibility to be lendable, submit all the documentation that needed. So mainly SBA's loan program has 3 categories. The first one called 7A loan. You can see you can use the proceeds for almost everything, even refinance your existing business debt. You can borrow up to $5 million. The interest rate is prime rate plus 2.25 to 2.75%. If you borrow less than $350K, you don't have to pay the guarantee fee. The express loan only through our preferred lenders. But most of the big banks, they are SBA's preferred lenders. They have express loan. The turnaround time is only 48 hours. They can use their own form. They can make decision by themselves. They don't have to submit to SBA to get approval. You can borrow up to $500,000. The next one is Community Advantage Loan. This is the only programs extended from disaster to help the pandemic. So the Community Advantage Loan is extended to September 30th, 2024. Through the CDFI, CDC microloan lenders, you can borrow up to $350K. We simplify the procedure and remove some restrictions for the application. 504 loan is the second one. It's a very special loan program specific for business to expand, to buy the building or land, new facilities or machinery. Cannot use the funds for the working capital or inventory, cannot refinance debt, cannot use for speculation or investment in rental real estate. Through our 3 CDC in New York, you can contact them about the 504 loan. The maximum amount is $12 million. The beauty of this program is you only pay 10% down. Then SBA, CDC will lend you 40%, and we will find lenders lend you 50%. So we work together to make the loan to you. So I put the checklist here for your reference. You will receive this PowerPoint. The last one is for the startups, because many of the lenders, they don't make loan to startups. So SBA work with nonprofit organizations. We have micro loan. You can borrow from $500 to $50,000. In New York, there are 6 nonprofit organizations, and we can meet some micro lenders today. SBA also make lend money to venture capitalists. So we don't get involved. You can check the SBIC directory, find those venture capitalists, and find the one meet your need and you meet their requirements. So contact them directly. Also, SBA provides surety bonds especially for construction company. When construction company get government contract, they need to have surety bonds. So we have this program for you. for exporters or any business help the exporters can apply for the international trade loans up to $5 million. You can contact Ed. He's the finance manager for New York and New Jersey. The last one I just want to provide, there are 2 grants for business, but it's not for you to run a business or start a business. It's for R&D, to do the research and development. Each of the projects are more than $1 million. And every year, more than 5,000 businesses get awards. So there are 3 phases. So usually it's 2.5 years to 2 years, 2.5 years. The first 6 months to 1 year can get $250,000. The next 2 years can get up to 1.5 million. So all the projects more than $1 million. You can see this is the program SBA. We coordinate with 11 federal government agencies, including everything. Okay, so I hope that you can explore this one. For the technology transfer program, small businesses have to find a nonprofit research institution to work together. 5 agencies participate in this one. Also, SBA provides funding for nonprofit organization to help business to get these 2 grants. These are the 3 organizations in New York. You can contact them if you want to get training. The best things about SBIR is they have 55 courses on their tutorials, including how to write a proposal. So even you don't think about apply for the SBIR, you can take the courses. That's very useful for all the business. Now, we will meet the lenders for today. We have 8 lenders today. They will talk about their programs and how you should apply and what you should pay attention to. So first, I would like to all the lenders introduce themselves. James, you go first. You have to unmute yourself.
That. So sorry about that. So good morning, everybody. Manly, thank you very much for putting this together. And Helena, as always, it's great to see you. So my name is Jimmy Vigna. I work for a company called Pursuit. Some of you might know us by our former name, the New York Business Development Corporation. So we're a New York State chartered bank and community development financial institution that's been around since 1955. We work with small businesses to help them access capital for businesses that may be deemed unbankable for one reason or another via a number of SBA and non-SBA loan programs.
Thank you, Ralph.
Manly, thank you so much, and good morning to everyone. This is Ralph Rodriguez. I'm a relation manager at City National Bank. We are a private and commercial bank and a very proud community partner of Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. Go Helena.
Okay, next, Edmond.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Edmund Lay. I'm one of the business counselors at Renaissance. We're a nonprofit organization. We specialize in providing technical and financial assistance for small businesses throughout New York City. We offer term loans anywhere ranging from $5,000 all the way up to $250,000 range. Of the rates range from 4 to 8%. Thank you.
Michael.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you to the Chamber and to the SBA for hosting this great event. Michael Halevi, I'm a credit faculty instructor for JP Morgan Chase, and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Renee.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Manly, as always. Greater New York Chamber of Commerce as well for the invitation. So my name is Renee Cruz. I'm the Senior Business Lending Officer for BOC Capital Corp, which is the lending arm to our main organization, the Business Outreach Center Network, or BOCNet, BOCNet. We got a lot of different names that folks call us, but we are first and foremost a technical assistance provider. And as I mentioned, BOC Capital Corp is the lending arm of the organization. So I work more so specifically on the lending side of things. And I also do provide some business counseling as well. Looking forward to today's session and answering all the questions that are going to be present today.
Barton.
Good morning, all. Barton Jackson. I am a relationship manager in TD Bank's commercial bank here in Manhattan. TD is a full-service regional bank from Maine to Florida, soon to expand a little further out with the acquisition of First Horizon. Thank you as always, Manli, for having me, and looking forward to the conversation. And it's a great way to end the week, since this is my 10-year anniversary with TD Bank. So.
All right.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Shireen?
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is Shireen Gurung with the company Capital. We are an award-winning SBA micro lender and community advantage lender based here locally in New York City. We have been serving small businesses in the 5 boroughs of New York City since 1997. We provide small business loans, technical assistance, and training, webinars. I want to thank Manli and Helena for inviting us here today, and I'm excited for the panel. And again, good to see you everyone again. I'm looking forward to the conversation and answering to your questions in the later session. So thank you again.
Joseph?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to Helena and the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce, and thank you, Manli, for the invite. I'm pleasure to be here. My name is Joseph Zachariah. I'm a managing director for business banking at Webster Bank. You may know us by our former name, Sterling National Bank, or Astoria Federal before that. And we are glad to be here. We are a preferred SBA lender, leading top performing Northeast commercial bank, and we're just glad to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. So the first question I would like to ask represent a business here. A lot of business they didn't know, what kind of loan, what stage of the loan that lenders can make to them. So James, can you go first, like startups or at least 2 years or whatever?
Yep. So great question. So Pursuit does provide financing to both startups and operating businesses. The caveat to that is depending on which one that you are, there are a different set of requirements associated with it, whether that be a guarantee or a required equity injection, which is your contribution to the project. But yes, we do lend to both startups and existing businesses.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, actually a very loaded question right there. Yeah, most banks for traditional bank financing will want to see 2 to 3 years of business tenure for applicant. Same thing here at City National Bank. However, we are able to do what we refer to as a guarantor reliant credit facility. So if you started your business a year or two, been successful, and you also have other sources of income and as well as assets, we can take a global perspective on the credit application and go for an approval. So.
Thank you, Edmund.
At Renaissance, we finance businesses at all phases, pre-revenue, expansion, operating businesses. For the startup businesses, we would consider the business under 1 year of operations. In that situation, you would need to show 50% capital injection. So if the total budget is $100,000 to open up your restaurant, for example, then we would need to see that the business owners are putting at least 50%, which is $50,000. And we also do require a personal guarantee for the loans.
Thanks, Renee.
Sure. So as a CDFI, Bach Capital does have a lot of flexibility. As some of my colleagues have mentioned, we provide financing to operational businesses. There also are opportunities for startup businesses to get financing from us as well. But as I mentioned in a previous panel that I was part of just yesterday with a lot of the folks that were here, it comes with very specific caveats to it. There are very specific requirements to be able to get startup financing. So is there an opportunity? Absolutely. Is it possibly the easiest thing to obtain? I'll be very honest, it's not necessarily, because again, very specific requirements need to be met. But again, the opportunity is there. So yes, we do provide startup financing.
Thank you, Barton.
So typically for startups, and startups for us is any company operating for 2 years or less, financing is generally limited to about $25,000. There are some cases and exceptions where we can look at larger requests that are dependent upon things like real estate transactions, right? So if you're looking for larger amounts, it really depends on the purpose and the extenuating circumstances.
Shireen.
So at a company Capital, we do lend to operating businesses as well as startup. And as other lenders has mentioned, so we also look at startups. A few factors that we look into is, as Edmund mentioned, the capital injection from the borrower, because that kind of shows your commitment in the business. It's very difficult to get 100% financing from lender, so just have that in mind. So some I would say amount of injection in the business, and also the experience in the industry. So ideally 1 to 2 years of either managing a similar type of business or having worked in a similar industry. That kind of shows your background and your experience, and that will determine success of the business. So I would say, like, for the startups, those are the two important things that we look into. And I see there are a few questions in the chat from startup businesses asking if we do fund lending to startups. So yes, we do, like I said, but those are the two factors we would look into.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, so the short answer is yes, we do offer startup loans. We generally partner with the Small Business Administration when we do startup loans. We do require 2 years of projections, income statement, and balance sheet, as well as a business plan. So that's just something to be cognizant of for those business owners on the phone, to make sure that they have a good CPA and have good advisors around them so they can partner in gathering the information that's required. Thank you.
Joseph?
Sorry, I was mute there.
Yeah.
Yes. Here at Webster Bank, we are typically looking for at least 2 years in business, but of course we will consider less than that with some of the supporting factors that were mentioned. Obviously, the owners and principals in years of industry experience and the detailed business plan, as was mentioned, to support the trajectory for growth, the need in the marketplace for this product or service that's being offered, the detailed purpose, amount use of funds. Obviously, the owner's credit, the owner's personal financials would come into play there, and owner's contribution and any other collateral that might be used to secure the loan. That being said, we do have some other partnerships. So it is a bit of a loaded question. So we do have a partnership with the New York City School Construction Authority. So we do help a lot of startup contractors and the startup certified contractors in different industries that do that construction through a mentoring program. So there are other programs out there for people with less than 2 years of business where we would be able to use alternate programs also to help them.
Okay, thank you. Now we go back to James. We are talking about SBA's guarantee loan. So this question is, 7(a) loan, 504 loan, micro loan, or international trade loan, that those are SBA's programs. Which one actually you can provide?
Sure. So Pursuit provides the 7(a) program, the 504 program, as well as the 504 refinance program, which is associated with refinancing conventional debt associated with purchasing and/or improving a building. And then lastly, the SBA Community Advantage Loan. We do not provide the microloan or the international trade.
Thanks. Ralph?
Yes, for 7(a), we will do that. We're looking for a minimum credit ask of $350,000. 504 loans, most definitely. And I think we're number 3 in the country at this point for SBA 504 loans, looking more towards $500,000 or more for that type of credit facility. We do not do SBA microloans, but we do international trade loans, especially for payable or supply chain financing.
Thank you, Edmund.
Unfortunately, Renaissance does not offer the 7(a) loans, but we do offer the SBA microloans and the SBA Community Advantage.
Renee?
Yeah, similar to Renaissance, Bach Capital does not do the 7(a) loan or the international trade loans, but we are an SBA microlender. Those are loans anywhere between $500 and $50,000. And we are also a community advantage lender, which allows us to go from $50,000 up to $250,000. So those are our 2 principal SBA programs.
Barton?
So TD Bank participates in the SBA Express program, which provides you the opportunity to look at either at a 5-year term loan or 5-year revolving credit line from $10,000 up to $500,000. We do also participate in the 7(a) loan program for either acquisition, expansion, consolidation, or real estate. It can be either a 10-year term loan or a 25-year fixed rate mortgage. And then we also participate in the SBA 504 program for real estate transactions.
Thanks, Shireen.
Yeah, so at Company Capital, we do the SBA microloan that goes up to 50,000. It's a term loan for 3 years. And we also do the Community Advantage loan. And the recent update, we can now offer up to 350,000. The term can go up to 10,000 and the interest is prime plus 3.5. And happy to talk to you more about the details of these two programs.
Michael?
Yeah, so we participate in the SBA Express, SBA 504, and SBA 7A. We also on the conventional side will do loans as low as 5,000 to loans that are substantially larger, particularly for owner-occupied commercial real estate in and outside of New York City.
Joseph?
Yeah, so at Webster Bank, we are a preferred SBA lender and a #1 regional lender in the New England area. And we do also offer participate in the SBA 7A program for working capital, seasonality, revolving credit, many other reasons to support the growth. And then SBA 504, we do support as well for real estate and furniture, fixtures, machinery, equipment, large asset purchases. We do participate in those programs as well.
Thank you. The next question, for business, actually, we want to help all of them. So other than SBA's loan program, what other programs you have in your institution? James?
Sure. So Pursuit actually has 15 different loan programs in total. So removing the SBA component to this, Pursuit provides a particular specialty set of programs for veteran entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs of color, as well as two particular programs that I want to highlight. So one of which is that we are the only CDFI in the country that provides a true revolving line of credit product, which is up to $100,000 and can be used as such as any other typical line of credit. Then absent that, with regard to the 504 program, because Pursuit is one of the oldest and largest CDCs in the country, we are actually able to provide the 50% first mortgage that would be normally provided by one of my colleagues at either TD or City National or Chase in the event of their decline. So Pursuit is able to be quite flexible in our capabilities.
Rob?
City National Bank is a full service bank, so traditional business lines of credit, loans. We do have a equipment leasing subsidiary, First American Financial, and other than that, in terms of personal lending, and some entrepreneurs will take use of this, and we can offer personal loans or personal lines of credit up to $1 million or more.
Edmond?
So in addition to the SBA loans, we do have a newer program called the Impact Loan. So this is geared towards business owners without legal status. So generally in the past, business owners we would require either green card or U.S. citizenship. With this new program, it opens up the doors to a bigger community. The only thing is they would need to provide a guarantor with the legal status. And not on the loan side, we provide the technical assistance, like I mentioned earlier. We have educational courses, and Manly is actually one of the ones who teaches our Mandarin courses, so please make sure to follow her. We have pro bono CPA services and pro bono attorney services. So let's say you're looking to move into a commercial space and you need someone to look over the draft terms or the legal jargon, we're more than happy to help you with that.
Renee?
Yeah, so I guess the way that I'll answer this is starting out by shouting out our main organization, which again is the Business Outreach Center Network. The technical assistance side of things. We have so many programs. I'm not going to list them all because I can literally spend an hour going through all the programs that we have. Just know that we're one of the SBA's resource partners. We have a couple of women's business centers. We have different counselors on board that are helping startup businesses, operational businesses, whether it's you need help with your business plan, operational strategy, marketing strategy, you name it. We can just help you in so many different areas when it comes to the technical aspect of your business. Now on Bach Capital side of things, in terms of lending programs, aside from what we do on the SBA side, there are two principal things that I want to highlight. One, we do very small loans in the credit building world, if you will. So whenever somebody is looking to either establish credit or they're looking to fix their credit if it's not in good shape, we can do a very small loan to them to help them with that journey. And we couple that with our credit counseling services. So it's just one of those things that we provide. I wanted to be able to shout out that specific lending program that we have. And in addition, there is another program that we're very, very active in, which is our contract-based lending. If you have a contract with a New York City agency, a New York State agency, and even on a case-by-case basis, if you have a private contract, we can provide you bridge capital to be able to perform on that. And it's not limited to just contracts. We can look at purchase orders, work orders, whatever type of agreements you have with a actual institution, we can look to help you finance those, because typically in the contracting world, you have to begin work first, you get paid later. And there is a gap that exists in terms of being able to front the capital to be able to pay your employees, buy materials, and et cetera. So we have a very specific program that is designed to help many contractors, not just in the construction world, just contractors in general. And again, we're very active in that. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be providing my contact information in the chat. You can feel free to reach out and we can talk in more detail.
Pardon?
So TD Bank offers credit lines to support your operating cash flow cycle, term loans for a number of permanent capital reasons. We also provide commercial real estate mortgages, both for if you're purchasing to have a place for your operating company to work out of, or for investment purposes. We also provide letters of credit. So if you are an operating company that is seeking commercial lease and the landlord is requiring a letter of credit versus cash security deposit, that's something that we do. Also, if you're working with like a manufacturer or vendor who may require that in lieu of cash security deposit. We do equipment lease financing, and we also have specialized lending arms for healthcare. So doctors, physicians, veterinarians. And I kind of want to impress on everyone that's listening to the great variety here of products and solutions across the for-profit and non-profit lenders here. Really reach out and ask questions, because there's a lot of tools in the tool shed, and it's not about just a knee-jerk reaction thinking you need to go one way because you're thinking the pricing is going to be cheaper for one, or the terms are necessarily more convenient one way. You want to make sure that the purpose matches the use. So please reach out to us, and we can always get into the weeds with any of these solutions and provide you as much information as possible.
Shireen?
Yeah, so at a company capital, so in addition to the microloan and the community advantage loan, we have 3 other loan products. So the smaller loan, which is our credit building loan products, it's a smaller loan that can go up to 2,000, and the purpose of the loan is to really help folks who are in their journey to build their credit or just establish their credit. Since we work with a lot of foreign-born entrepreneurs and new immigrants, so credit is always an issue, and it's a great product to have to just help them build their credit and towards their entrepreneurial journey to make them credit worthy in future. And the loan is also paired with credit counseling, which is on one-on-one to help them, review their credit report and help them understand and how to improve their credit. We also provide credit workshops throughout the year on personal and business credit. And we have the small business loan, which is the loan between 50,000 to 75,000. So that's really a bridge loan from microloan to community advantage loan. It's a term loan for 3 years and available to startup as well as existing businesses. And our third loan product, which is a special loan for women business owners. It's called the Wealth Loan, Women Enterprise Action Loan Fund. It's a partnership with an organization called Wealth. So we manage the loan, and the loan can go up to 10,000. It's 0% interest loan. So women entrepreneurs, if you're here today and you want to learn more about the Wealth program, I'm happy to connect offline.
Michael?
Yeah, similar to Barden and TD, we offer revolving lines of credit, term loans, owner-occupied commercial real estate. But also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we have recently launched loans up to 250,000 conventional loans without any financial statement requirements. So I'll just pause there for a second. So without any financial statement requirements, loans up to 250,000. There are some industries and some segments that are excluded from that program, but it is a very attractive program and we're proud that we recently launched it.
Joseph. Joseph.
Sorry about that. So similar to my colleagues at TD, Barton, and also Mike and Chase, we do offer competitively priced and competitively structured business lines of credit for working capital, and also we offer larger term loans for equipment and fixed furniture, machinery, and of course, we do offer also commercial real estate financing, and we also have specialty financing programs for asset-based lendings and equipment lease financing, franchise financing that we offer to as well. We do have a streamlined product, and I will pause, similar to Chase that Michael just mentioned. We do have a product which is literally a one-page application that is filled out and without any financial statements required for under 250,000 in access to capital with different structures. That's a conventional product too as well. We do offer lending up to that, beyond that too as well, conventional lending as well. We recently launched a minority women and business owned enterprise team, which is specifically focused for lending for people who are MWBE certified owners, entrepreneurs of businesses. And like I said, we have some other partnerships where we do some of what the Business Outreach Center was mentioning with the New York City School Authority, where we finance certain contracts for startup businesses like contractors, and we pair them up with the larger business, a mentor, and we offer lending for those contracts specifically for let's say a large contract that they might have, and to fulfill that contract, they have certain material needs that they need and employees that needed to pay before they get paid. So we do offer that too as well. I think what differentiates Webster is that the underwriting team and the credit team are all people who live and work in New York and Connecticut and our areas regionally, and they understand the Northeastern region very well.
Okay, thank you. So before I go to the next questions, I just want to remind all the participants, you will receive all the lenders' contact information. And I also make a PowerPoint that all the programs that all the lenders they have. So and I saw a lot of you ask question, what documents have to prepare. Today's goal is not just learn what you should prepare, all the details. It's encourage you to listen to the lenders and contact them. Okay, you have to take actions to contact them because each lenders, they provide different loan program, but each of the loan have different documentation requirements. So please just listen to them first and then call them, contact them. You will get all the detailed information. Okay, so I will go reversely order right now. So Joseph, next question start with you is when can the borrowers call you or contact you?
So I know my contact information will be provided, and we're available pretty much anytime via email or phone. We have a great team here at Webster. We believe in a single dedicated point of contact. So a person in my role as a managing director in business banking would build partnerships with the SBA, with the SBDC, with different outreach centers, in my area in Queens, the Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. So we build a lot of partnerships with some of those technical assistance centers. So reach out to us, definitely email us, and we use us to maybe if no matter what stage you're in, we'll see if we have programs as a bank that matches you, but we'll be the first to also connect you with the CDFI, with someone from like Pursuit and some of the panels that are on here today, panels that are on here today that represented us. So definitely reach out to us. Of course, our information will be forwarded after this call.
Right. Okay. Because a lot of business contact me, say, I need money because I ran out of money. usually I tell them, sorry, it's too late. Okay, so when should the borrowers contact you, Michael?
Yeah, great question, Manley. As early as possible, to be candid. You should be having those conversations. You should build a team around yourself. I call it the ABCs of banking. Have a good attorney, have a good banker, have a good CPA. So as early as possible, but I'm always happy and willing to talk to any small business owner. I come from a small business family. My in-laws, my parents, my sister, my wife all own small businesses. So I really love talking to small business owners, and feel free to reach out at any time.
Okay, you will be very busy. Shereen?
Sure. So, I would say, contact us, a Company Capital, at any stage. You may not be ready for loan right now, but we may be able to assist you, with the resources, information to really help you be ready for loans in next, a month or, next 6 months, because you may have, issue with your credit, or you may not be there, ready with your financials. So we can guide you, we can assist you, we can provide information, directly through us, or we can, work with our resource partners to help you reach there. But in order for loan, I would say, reach out to us as soon as you can, just to be prepared and know what are the things, information that we are looking for loan, because it takes at least 3 weeks to a month to get the loan package ready. It's not going to be an overnight, approval. So I would say reach out to us, any lenders, as soon as you can, so that you can do your homework and be prepared.
Barton?
Yeah, I think Michael hit right on the head for me. I want to know you from the get-go, if like it's from formation or milestones, right? A lot of folks will look at this lending as this thing that gets them from point A to point B without really informing their banker. And it's also just as important for us to get to know you as you to get to know us, so that there's a level of trust and transparency between us. I'll just share that we're kind of going through that now. We have a company that we're very excited for and very supportive of, that did great, during the last couple of years, and decided to take on a really ambitious expansion. And rather than coming and speaking to us about it and getting some advice and guidance on what it would look like from either traditional lending or with like a CDFI, they went out to a broker and got a bunch of what are called merchant cash advances and cash flow advance loans. And if you've never seen these, while they have these delightfully teeny tiny periodic interest rates that they disclose to you, the actual interest rates are somewhere between 25 to 41%. And now we are trying to see if we can do a consolidation for them, because there's no profit. Now the owners cannot pay themselves, which means they have no income to honor their personal obligations. So it's really, really important to get a good relationship with your advisor, your banker, your attorney, because if you don't have those different perspectives on process to really inform your strategy or milestone, you can just as easily burn yourself out on credit obligations as you could have grown your business. So it's really important to build that community around you.
Renee?
Absolutely. So, I have to echo what my colleagues have said here on the panel. Building relationships is going to be key. And I don't know what much more to add to that, if I'm being very honest, except to just continue to stress the importance of having the right folks around you, reaching out to us as early on as possible. It's not to say that you won't encounter some emergency situations. You can still feel free to reach out, but the earlier you can establish connections and relationships, you can get ahead of things way earlier. So for example, if you run into a situation where you need the money rather quickly, if you don't have a relationship with your banker, it's going to take some time to be able to establish that relationship for them to get to know you and your business, and then possibly do a loan. But if you already know them, you have that relationship set up, you can come to them with a last minute request, and there could be a possibility where they can get something done rather quickly. They have your information already. They know you pretty well. So it's just, the relationships are important. It really is.
Edmund?
Yeah, pretty much the same as my colleagues mentioned, as soon as possible. Of course, it would be ideal to to apply for a loan when your finances are at its peak. It looks best on paper, but businesses get into trouble. We don't anticipate that, but as soon as possible. Like Manly said earlier, just hear what we have to offer. I'd reach out to each and every one of these panelists. We all have different programs to offer. Maybe we have different sweet spots. Maybe we have different industries that we serve better. Definitely just reach out. I also recommend, every time a lender checks your score, it's possibly a hard inquiry. So just have a close relationship with your counselor or advisor and see if, we can get you steered in the right direction.
Ralph?
Yes, I'm beating a dead horse here. The relationships are important because if you don't have that relationship, we cannot be an advocate for you in order to get that lending. And it's not just about, that credit facility. It's about what the long-term effects of having that in place and what it does to your business. I compare it to like having a toothache. You either see the dentist now and it's a small problem or avoid a problem. And I'm saying this because I have a toothache right now. Avoid the problem, not see the dentist, and then you have a root canal. So which one do you want?
Okay, James?
Yeah, so I think we've kind of beaten this horse into the ground here. So the one last thing that I will say in addition to that, with particular regard to anything related to a contract, so whether that's equipment purchases, commercial real estate purchases, government contract, etc., do not start looking for financing after you've signed the contract, because once you sign the contract, the clock is ticking. So it's important to note that earlier is always better, and with particular regard to a contract, don't sign anything before you've started at least the conversation with a lender.
Okay, thank you. The next question, borrowers, they should prepare some before they talk to the lenders. So what kind of information that you think and they should get ready for you? Joseph?
Yeah, so it's always good to have prepare your financial statements. This goes back to almost the question before, having a team around you, investing. I consider it an investment in having a qualified CPA advisor with you from the get-go and as a foundational. But typically, we are looking for conventional lending for existing business. We are income statement, of course, aging, invoice, and capital. If you don't bank with us, we are looking for your operating out statements, any other assets you may have, or anything else that could be used for collateral. What's also key, and a lot of people miss, is that we are looking for a background and resume on the owners and principals and your key managers. So it's important to kind of have that, as you are accomplishing certain things, being able to speak to that and being able to speak to challenges that you may have had in the past and how you overcame that. And generally, your business model, how you generate business, how you attract clients, your cash flow cycle. We are looking to understand how long it takes you to turn a dollar into into net profit, and we're looking for your credit histories. There's many other things that we're looking for that you should really be preparing before, all along, really. You can, of course, reach out to us and we can advise you in this area. But these are things that go back to what was mentioned earlier. Having the right team around you is so important. It's so important not to skimp on having a qualified advisor around you, or to realize when your business is growing, maybe it's time to upgrade your team, to upgrade your advice team. Maybe that tax preparer is not the best for you now, and you need to go out and find a qualified CPA to ask around and find a qualified CPA for you, and have those people along the lines to build that relationship with those people, trusted advisors, so that they can guide you along the process. But that's just a little bit of what people look at. Too many times people come when they need financing, when they think they're doing great, and they don't have a true handle. But it's important to understand, sometimes a business entrepreneur is very focused on building their business, very passionate about what they do, but they're not the best in understanding the metrics of the business, to understanding, speaking well financially about the business. And it's important to surround yourself with people who can advise you and tell you, hey, this is something that can be something that may lead to an issue, whatever it might be. So that's on that.
Okay, Michael?
Yeah, I would just say two things very quickly. So number one is accurate financials, even if those are prepared by yourself or somebody in the office, just having that being accurate and true, I think is number one. And number two is just be prepared to have an open, honest, and transparent dialogue on what you're looking to accomplish and what you're looking for, right? I think many times people run through the process very quickly or ask, why do I need to provide that? Or rush through it. I think if you just step back and have a good dialogue, you're going to get more out of it than less.
Thank you, Shireen.
Sure. Yeah. So in addition to just what Michael mentioned, I would say, know your numbers because that's what lenders would want to know first. Whether you have the ability to afford or repay the loan. So when I first talked to client, prospect, I would ask, how much is your monthly sales? What's your year-to-date revenue? It can be, tentative or rough number, but you should have the number in mind. We will take a look at, your tax returns and bank statements, obviously, to verify the number. But just have the numbers in your mind when you, speak to us. And in terms of documents for the financials, be ready to provide your tax returns at least the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years, depending on the loan, right? Your business and personal bank statements, year-to-date profit and loss statement, cash flow statement, and your personal statement. Know your credit score, because that's also something we would ask, what is the last credit score? How is your credit? Is there anything, concerning in your credit report? So so know your score and, good to check your credit, right? Because many banks now offer free credit pull or credit score you can check through the app. So I think it's good to do that before you talk to a lender. And I think the last thing I would say is know the purpose of the fund that you're requesting for and how much you need, right? Know the specific amount, because I know all of us will tell you later that, don't say, what is your maximum or what is your minimum. Know the amount that you need specifically for, and what is the fund going to be used for.
Farhan?
Sharing did my job for me. So yeah, I'll just add to, one thing that I really love to see, because depending on what your ask is, in addition to the financials that were mentioned, it's always a good idea, whether you're a new business or an existing business, to provide a business plan and projections. That helps us get a better understanding of who you are, what you do, where you were, and where you're looking to go. Because depending upon what you're asking for, you may be getting not just an application, but that loan officer is potentially doing a memorandum to help tell the story behind the numbers. And the more ammunition you can give us, the more we can do to go to credit, especially if there's a disagreement. And even if it is, if that agreement ends up in your favor and you're proved, wonderful. If not, then there's a very surgical reason for the decline, and that helps us start looking around within this community. I've reached out to Sharing actually just as early as yesterday. I've reached out to Renee in the past. I've reached out to folks at Pursuit. They're probably sick of me at this point, when we can't necessarily get it to fit within our wheelhouse. So recognize too that the more information that you give us helps us kind of get a really informed decision and say, hey, even if we can't do it, I think we know where we can go to get it done. And the other part of that is really a practice for you as the business owner in terms of staying on top of your business. Historical tax documents, business plans, projections, interim financials, those are part of living documents that are kind of a self-conversation that you can have with yourself. to really kind of come up with some strategic decisions and milestones for your own company's performance before you talk about even lending or the next step, right? So you can kind of always know where you are. It doesn't mean you have to go and get, you know, your certifications to be a CPA yourself, but at least be conversant enough so that you can have these conversations and make some informed decisions off the performance of your own company.
Renee?
Yeah, I mean, what's been shared so far, I really hope folks are taking notes down because it really is, again, it's just great information that's being relayed today. One point that I'll reiterate in regards to the business plan, which is what we're looking at a lot of times, regardless if you're a startup or an operational business, one thing that you should have prepared is just the numbers in regards to the loan request. You'll probably hear this as one of the advice that you might get later on in this panel, but it always is something that it's a red flag for us. For example, when somebody comes into the office and we ask them, so how much are you looking for in financing? And they say, how much can you give me? You don't want to do that. So the business planning, as we've mentioned before, is super, super critical. You want to be able to come and know your numbers. We're not asking you to be your CPA, your accountant, to know ratios and et cetera, but you should have a basic understanding of your business's revenues, your expenses, be able to have a conversation with the lender in terms of what your plan is, what your goal is. So that information at minimum, you should have it ready. But I will also say this real quickly. Do not feel as like you have to have, at least in our case, everything 100% ready, because part of the reason why we exist as well is to be able to help you get that information in place. So if you have some information in place, but you're not certain how to arrive to other pieces of information that are critical to a loan application, we can actually help you put that together.
Edmund?
All right, it's going to be tough to follow up with these great answers, but really just be prepared. In addition to the financial documents like the simple standard bank statements, financial statements, I would say take it a step further. If we ask how much you're looking to borrow, provide us quotations, provide us an accurate estimate of exactly what's needed, because as Barton mentioned, we do prepare a memo. I mean, I'm not the decision maker. I'm one of the counselors which would help present your case application at the best light. So the more information that you provide to us, the better your loan application will be. Best of luck.
Ralph?
Yeah, so 3 words, warm and fuzzy. Wherever you do, when you're applying for some type of credit facility, make sure that the bank has a warm and fuzzy. And that's the only reason why, we ask for 1,000,001 documents, just so I can go to my underwriter and say, okay, this will be a good deal for us. Because unlike entrepreneurs, and we admire you because you're risk takers, banks are risk adverse. So whenever we can, we need to look for risk mitigants in order to say yes. And if we can't say yes, if a good lender or good bank, put it this way, the longer I'm in the banking world, the smaller my world gets. So if I can't do it, I reach out to another banker and another bank, and everybody's cool with each other. So, use it as a resource.
Jimmy?
Yeah, so aside from all the great information that's been provided, I just want to focus on 2 things. So with regard to the business plan, I know oftentimes it could seem like it's this ominous, large, looming document. It's not. I've seen business plans that are 500 pages that tell me absolutely nothing, and business plans that are 50 pages that tell me everything that I need to know. So it's not about thinking that it has to be a particular length or size or look a certain way. It's about being really clear and intentional about what you're trying to do. So who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and how you plan to get there. Secondly, in addition to that, is utilizing the resources around you to be able to prepare documentation like that. So not just with institutions such as my colleagues that are here now, but all across the landscape of free services within the city of New York. So you have the small business development centers, you have the business solution centers, you have the SCORE network. These are all different free services that are designed to help you to be able to present the best case possible to anybody that's on this panel and beyond. And then secondly, the other portion that I want to talk about is being transparent. So when we look at your historical financials, when there are dips and highs and lows throughout the course of time, being able to just have an open conversation about what happened. And then lastly, if there's anything that we need to know, such as a bankruptcy, being formally incarcerated, any pending lawsuits, any items like that, it's important for you to describe that to us up front for two reasons. Number one, it's not what you did, it's what you did to rectify it. So just like anything with life, there's always a second chance as long as you do it the right way. The more important part than that is that there's 5 C's in lending, and I'm not going to go through all 5, but the most important is character, and it ties to the other 4. So there is no scenario in which you will deal with any lender on this panel or most other bankers where we won't find out. So it's really important for you to understand that it's not what you did, it's what you did to rectify it, and explaining to us what happened. We're not machines. All of us are human beings. All of us have been around for quite some time, and all of us have dealt with borrowers from all different walks of life. Almost all of it is okay. It's just about being transparent.
Thank you so much. Helena, I think that, we don't have more time to listen to the lenders, but today's we really just want to, this is the beginning of their conversation. We just give the opportunity for the business, they can meet with the lenders and they can start their conversation. Okay, so.
Thank you, Manley. Thank you so much. Jimmy, Ralph, Edmund, Renee, Barton, Shring, Michael and Joseph. Can't appreciate, words don't even say this. You know what, I'll make it real quick. You know what, people think, especially small businesses, that they're unbankable. And when you start a business, you know what, this panel just laid out the ground, it's groundbreaking for businesses to hear there are opportunities no matter what. There's, they mentioned some people, don't have a credit, or they don't, they'll be able to access capital, even though they don't have, a strong financial bank account right now. It's amazing the information that was provided today. So you know what, if the PowerPoint presentation will be sent, this is being recorded, you can go back to it. I know that a lot of people asked about, what each person has and the opportunities, and put it in a chart. It will be provided that way. I just wanted to say to Barton, congratulations on your 10-year. Also, Manley, someone in the chat, I don't know if you saw that, said that you personally changed her life and her business. So I am going to close with that, because this is, I know. So this is the opportunity, this conversation, this presentation. You know what, a lot of people wouldn't, give us the time, and you guys do, you all do, I should say. And it is so important. I call it pay it forward. We talk about this at the chamber, pay it forward to the information. And I love that you all sat there and said, well, if you came to my bank and I didn't have the services for you, we will bring it to someone else. And it banking friendly, it's got to be banking friendly. And this is what this panel provided. So I know it's 11:03. Thank you everyone for this information. PowerPoint presentation will be sent as long as you RSVP to me for your email. Manley and the entire panel, can't say enough how important this is. You guys really change the economy for businesses. So you should be really, really proud of the information that you provide, and just thank you for your time on this. Unbelievable information. So thank you all. Have a great weekend, everyone. It's Friday. Enjoy. If you have any questions, I'm always available. Helena@chamber.nyc, where the email came from. And everyone be well and be safe. Thank you again.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.